So, I have a question for you. The last time you moved homes, did you take your trash with you? Probably not. So, why then are you trying to move into your new life carrying the emotional baggage of the version of you that no longer exists? Today, we're doing a divorce audit to lighten your load. So, we will look at three things. First, the version of you that was created to survive the marriage. Second, the guilt of the broken home. And third, the social circles that only knew the couple version of you. First of all, these are weights, not wings. And a lot of us took on roles in our marriage for survival, to keep the peace, etc. Some of you may have created a version of yourself where everyone else's needs and everyone else's desires were met before you and your needs, and sometimes instead of you and your needs. Don't bring this forward, okay? Release it and start making yourself and your needs a priority. In your next chapter, let's be intentional about you, what you want out of your life, and what makes you happy and brings you joy. And you don't have to do this all at once. You can start little by little, but start incorporating that joy and spark and enjoyment into your life again. All right. And now let's talk about that second idea, that concept of the broken home. Now, I'm going to speak a little bit about my own personal experiences because my take on this, as having parents who were divorced, is a little bit different than some others. But I always felt like I would always tell my mom, I understand as I got older, I understand you getting divorced because I had friends who had both parents in the home, but their parents argued all the time. And there was no happiness and joy in that household. And I never wanted to be in a situation like that. And so if my parents needed to be divorced to be happy, I'd rather have that because I wanted the peace in my house as opposed to having two parents who were together but miserable. So if you're feeling any guilt because you now have a broken home, I want you to remember that that home that you have now has some peace in it. You can have some joy in it, and your children will adapt. They will be fine. It is much better for you to be someplace where you are feeling peaceful and joyful and not stressed all the time. And there's not negative energy and tension in your home. So let's let that go. Let's not bring that forward. That's part of the trash that stays over there. Lastly, let's talk about these social circles. Okay. Those couples that you may have been friends with, you may see them when you go out, you may have gone out together. You're going to have to look at these relationships, and it may be challenging and you may have to have make some difficult decisions. I know for myself there were definitely some relationships that I did not carry forward into my next chapter. There were others that were able to sustain, that I was able to sustain, that we were able to maintain those relationships. So you just need to evaluate it, and again, if they're supportive and they are in a space where they are able to maintain a relationship with you that's positive and uplifting and supporting, then absolutely, that's something you can move forward. But if not, that's something you need to release and you'll be fine because there are, I don't know exactly the number, but millions and millions and billions of people in the world. So you can find other relationships. You want to make sure that you're not bringing forward anything that is negative or harmful. So if they're supportive, bring them forward. If they're not, that's something you can release. The process of becoming a phoenix and a rising does require that you're going to walk through some fire and you're going to rise from the ashes. But when you do, you are going to rise with wisdom, with experience, with joy and perseverance and resilience. And that is entirely necessary. So, the thing about that emotional baggage is if you keep carrying the old weights that you had, you will never have the energy to rebuild and intentionally design your next chapter, your second spring. On page 6 of my Phoenix Reset Guide, I list the specific reflection questions to help you audit your life. Download it below. And if you want me to help you sift through the heavy lifting, book a clarity call with me and let's decide together what stays and what goes.